Okay, look at the heading, conservation of land resource. Now you must know the meaning of conservation. Conservation means, what is conservation? Conservation means preserving saving the resources, preserving the resources so that it will last for a longer time or it can be used for the next generation. So we need to conserve resources. So here we are going to learn conservation of land resource. Now look at the line. Growing population and their ever-increasing demand has led to a large-scale destruction of forest cover and arable land and has created a fear of losing this natural resource. Growing population and their ever-growing demand has. Now what is happening? The population is growing and it keeps on growing. It is ever increasing, we can say. So as the population is growing, the demand of the people is also growing. So people are more, we need more land for agriculture, we need more school, we need more hospital, we need more marketplaces. So demand is increasing because of growing population. So what they are doing, their destruction of forest covered and arable land has created a fear of losing this natural resource. Now demand increased. So when demand has increased, what they are doing, they are clearing the forest and using that land for agriculture. Even the arable land, in some, arable means the land which is good for agriculture, is also used for some other purpose. Maybe for constructing roads, maybe constructing hospitals, maybe constructing marketplaces, for some other purpose. So that is why the demand is increasing because of the growing population. And when these are there, we are clearing the forest, we are clearing the agricultural land and using that for some other purpose. Move to the next. Therefore, the present rate Therefore, the present rate of degradation of land must check. Now, what they have to check? That is afforestation, land reclamation, regulated use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers, and checks on overgrazing are some of the common methods used to conserve land resources. Now, one by one we will take, then you will understand, my dear. Look at here. Now, what they are telling, if we have to stop land degradation or we have to conserve the land, we need to take some steps. Now, what are those steps? The step number 1 is afforestation. That means we need to grow more and more trees in the forest, or we have to increase the area under forest. Land reclamation. Now we can claim the land. Now which land? Suppose some land which is simply barren, some land which is not used for any purpose, maybe some land underwater. So it can be reclaimed. It can be by putting more layer of soil, it can be used. So somehow we need to use that type of land. Regulated use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers. Now regulated use. Overdose of chemical fertilizers is bad, or chemical pesticides is bad. So what doses is needed, of that only we must use it, otherwise it will spoil the land. Then the next point is given, check on overgrazing. Now check on overgrazing means what we can do. Animals, they don't understand, but we need to divert the animals. If the grasses of one place is over, they can go to the next plot. So these are the steps which we can take to conserve the land. Now step number 1, afforestation, land reclamation, then regulated use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers, and the last one is overgrazing. Check on overgrazing. So these points you need to put it in your mind so that we can do land conservation. There is one box is given. Look at that box. Now, weathering. We must know what is the meaning of weathering. Now, weathering means the breaking up of decay of exposed rocks by temperature changes frost action, plants, animals, and human activity. Now it is given here breaking of rock and decay of exposed rock. Actually, what happens? During the daytime, temperature is high. During the nighttime, temperature is low. So whatever rocks are there in the atmosphere, what happens during the daytime, because of high temperature, they expand. Again, during night time, what happens? Because of when temperature is low, they contract. So expansion, contraction leads breaking of the rock. So rocks, they break. So this process is known as weathering. Breaking of rock, in simple terms, you remember breaking of rocks because of change in temperature, because of weather changes, it is breaking into pieces. This process is known as weathering. Okay. Now, look at the heading landslides. Look at the box which is given in your textbook, landslides. So we will start from there. Now what is landslide that we are going to learn first? We need to know. Actually, from the term itself you can understand landslide. That means land is sliding down. Okay. So that is the meaning. Now, proper definition. Landslides are simply defined as the mass movement. You need to keep in mind mass movement. Now, what is mass movement? Mass means it's not a small one piece of earth is falling down.
Yes, ma'am. A big piece of
Yes. Big, huge piece of rock. Big pieces of mountains. Big boulders of stone, rock, they are falling down from a steep slope, maybe a mountain slope, that is known as landslides. So keep in mind mass movement. Okay, I again repeat it. Landslides are simply defined as the mass movement of rock, debris, or earth down a slope. So it is always coming from a slopy area. The big piece of
mountains.
Yeah, mountains are breaking and mountain pieces are sliding down. Mostly it happens during the rainy season. Okay, during the rainy season, whatever the loose materials are there on the top of a mountain, they slide down, and that is how the landslide takes place. Now let us see what are the causes. They often take place in conjunction with earthquakes, floods, and volcanoes. Now look at here. What can be the causes of landslides? The first one is given earthquakes. I will tell you. First one is earthquake. Then second one is given floods. Third one is given volcanoes. Okay. There is earthquake, shaking will take place, and the loose materials which are there on the top of the mountain, it will slide down. Yes, it will slide down from the slope of a mountain. Now floods, you know, whenever the rivers will have rainy season, too much water, excess water will come out from the rivers, and if it is happening on the slopy area, and it will take all the material down from the mountain. Mountain top, sometimes the lava magma comes out. That is a volcanic activity.
Yes, ma'am.
So whenever there is a volcanic activity, so this whatever the material comes out from that mouth of the mountain or crack of the earth, it will come and slide down if it is a volcanic mountain. So this is how the landslides takes place. One is earthquake, one is flood, one is volcanoes. Okay, now one more cause is there. A prolonged spell of rainfall can cause heavy landslide that can block the flow of river for quite some time. Now look at here. What is given? Prolonged spell of rainfall. That means sometimes you must have seen or you must have experienced that at a stretch the rainfall may be there for 1 week, sometimes without a break. So that type of rainfall which is for a long period, maybe 10 days, maybe 15 days, at that time what happens, because of the too much rainfall, from the mountain areas, the loose material, they slide down. So you got now 4 reasons of why landslides are taking place, the four causes. One is earthquake, second is floods, third is volcano, and fourth one is long spell of rainfall. Clear? The hilly terrain, landslides have been a major and widely spread natural disaster that often strike life and property and occupy a position of major concern. Now next is given what type of area it is more prone to landslide. In the hilly terrain, landslides have been a major and widely spread natural disaster. So landslides are mostly common. Where it is mostly common? On hilly areas. Okay?
On hilly areas.
Yeah, correct. On the hilly areas it is. On the slopes, hill stations, on the slopes of the mountain, even if it is not slope of the mountain, wherever this mountain is there and where the mountain the meeting the plain, we call it foothill. This particular area where the mountain is meeting the plain, that place is also not safe, because from the top of the mountain the rocks will slide and it will come on the plain area. So just near the foothill is also not a safe place. Okay, away from the hill if you are going, that of course is a safe place. Okay, one case study is given. That case study, one story type may be given, that you will read yourself. I will move to the next important topic, that is mitigation mechanism. Now mitigation mechanism means, mitigation term is taken from meet. How we are going to meet this disaster, how we are going to face this disaster. Okay, it's not that we will run away from this disaster. We need to take some steps so that we can reduce the impact of landslide. Of course, some of the natural things are not possible to stop it. It will happen. Okay, but we can take some steps to reduce the impact or to minimize it. So that is why the term is used here, mitigation mechanism. How we are going to meet or how we are going to face this landslide disaster. Now look at the points which we are given over here. Now take the second line. Some broad mitigation techniques of landslides are as follows. Some of the important steps which can be taken, or the techniques we can apply to reduce, what we have to reduce? Impact of landslide. Okay, point number 1. Hazard mapping to locate areas prone to landslides. Hence, such areas can be avoided for building settlements. Now, you need to understand hazard mapping. Now, what is hazard mapping? Now, first you understand the meaning of the word hazard. Hazard means disaster type of area, where the disasters are very common. As I told you, if we are living on the slopes of a mountain, that is a hazard area. Again, if you are living at the foothill of a mountain, just near to the mountain, that is also a hazard area. But if you are living away from the mountain, then that area is safe. Okay, so we need to have a map. That means we have to survey and we have to find out which are the areas where the landslide can take place. And if we know that this area is not safe, we should not make houses over there. So this is your first step. We should avoid making buildings near the foothills and on the slope of a mountain or hazard area we must know. Now point number 2. Construction of retention wall to stop land from slipping. Now construction of retention wall. Now what is this retention wall? I will tell you. Now suppose there is a mountain. There is a mountain, and if we make a wall on the slope of a mountain, which will be just touching the plain area. Okay, now whatever will slide down from the top of a mountain will be blocked by this wall. Is it clear to you, my dear students?
Yes, ma'am.
Suppose there is a mountain, and the mountain where it meets the plain, just before that if we construct a wall, then whatever the materials are coming from the mountain will be blocked by this wall, and it will not damage the people, those who are living just near the mountain. So we need to make a retention wall so that it will not spread too much in the area. Now going to the next point, third point we are taking now. Now the third point is increase in the vegetation cover to arrest landslide. Now what is happening wherever there is no layer of forest, wherever there is no layer of grasses or vegetation, landslides are taking place more. Suppose if there are on the slopes of the mountain there are trees. Now the root of the trees will hold the soil. Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Then these soils will not move down. It will remain in that particular place because the roots of the tree is holding it. So we need to cover the area of the mountain slopes with the vegetation. It can be grasses, it can be plants, so that the soil will not be exposed to the atmosphere. If the soil is exposed, when the rain will be there, it will carry it. So we need to cover with the vegetation. Now point number 4. The surface drainage control works to control the movement of landslide along with the rainwater and spring flows. Now, the surface drainage control. First, you need to understand what is the meaning of surface drainage. Now, surface drainage means on the one plot of land or even on the slope of the land, there are so many channels that water comes through or water flows through. You know that water, wherever the water will get a slope, it will start flowing. Okay, if we divert such type of channels to some other area, then the soil erosion will be less, damage done by the water will be less. Okay, we need to divert the surface drainage. The surface drainage is that rainwater which is collecting and making a small channels and flowing from one place to another place. We need to divert them. Okay, if we divert them, then it will not take the loose material from that particular place, and it will go, the water will move to the other place. So we need to control this surface drainage system. Then landslide will be less. I hope you have understood all these 4 points. Very easy to remember. You will be breaking the points and writing. Okay. If you are not able to write big points, you can make smaller points and write it. I repeat these 4 points. First, we need to make hazard mapping. Hazard mapping means we need to find out the areas which are prone to landslide. If they are prone to landslide, we need not to make buildings in such places. Point number 2, construction of retention wall. We need to make a wall which will stop the landslide. Okay, it will not allow the landslide to move down. Point number 3 is increase in vegetation. We need to increase the forest cover, or grasses we have to grow, or plantation we have to do. So it will not allow the landslide to move down. Point number 4, surface drainage control. The surface water which is running from one place to another place, we need to control, or we need to divert them to some other area so that they will not carry the material downward. I hope now it is clear to the students.
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Ma'am.
So your landslide topic is complete.